I'm Michelle Bridges and I'm here at Booktopia to discuss my brand new book, The Perimenopause Method, the only menopause guide you'll ever need. This book is really accessible for someone that just wants to read about their body and know what's going on now and in the future. I use my own personal story, which is very authentic, I guess to really invite the reader in and show them that this is inevitable, but suffering is not. So perimenopause is the transition into menopause, and not a lot of people know about it, although it's starting to get some traction now. Menopause can start between 45 and 55, and perimenopause can begin 10 to 7 years prior to that transition. So if you do the maths, perimenopause can begin as early as 35. I wrote the Perimenopause Method, well, selfishly for myself, because there was no information, particularly when I was starting to go through perimenopause, there was nothing available. And once I started doing the research, and I did that for my online program, the Menopause Method, and then my second online program, the Perimenopause Method, I knew that the depth of this particular topic was, well, it was like an iceberg. Once I started going down the rabbit hole, it was huge. It needed to be in a book. It needed to be in a manual that not only a woman can read, but then she can hand that to her daughter. That's how important this book is. And that's how important this information is. Okay, that's a myth. I mean, you do need to make some changes and you do need to roll up your sleeve and become a little bit like what I like to say, the CEO of your own life. But it's small little changes that will make big differences. Just some little changes perhaps around your sleep patterns or your sleep routine, some small changes in your nutrition, and maybe some small changes in your exercise and what you're doing. It's not like you have to overhaul everything and be getting up at 5 a.m. and journaling and meditating. I mean, who can be bothered with that? But do make some realistic small changes and they can have some really big effects in the long term. This is definitely a myth. In fact, I have many girlfriends in this age category and the conversation is like this: I either choose a glass of wine or I choose to sleep. And that's pretty much how much alcohol can affect your sleep, which then has a knock-on effect to the rest of your day, which can also have a knock-on effect to anxiety or any kind of neurological symptoms, which definitely turn up in perimenopause. They're brain-related, mood swings, sleep disturbances, as I mentioned. So yeah, it's a little bit of a choose one or the other situation. Okay, that's a total myth. We have estrogen receptors in every single organ of our body, every single thing, from our skin to our internal organs, our brains, bones, you name it, which is why there are a multitude of different symptoms that turn up for ladies, from tinnitus to burning mouth, to brittle bones, to muscle loss, to weight gain, particularly around the middle, to frozen shoulder. It's just a multitude. The neurological ones turn up usually early, it's in the brain, such as brain fog, anxiety, depression, sleep disturbances. So it really does impact everything, which is why the more you know, the more you can clock it straight away and then start making some shifts in your lifestyle to help support you. I'm going to say total myth to this because this is a real time for you to sort of stand at the crossroads and choose the direction that you're going to go for the next chapter of your life. And there's just so much that you can do in order to support yourself at what I would say is a really, really important and powerful time in your life. So really, perimenopause and menopause is not about waving the white flag or saying that this is the end game. This is a time now to put you back on the top of the priority list because you are important. So what makes this book unique is, well, first of all, there aren't a huge amount of books out there on perimenopause and menopause, but some of the ones that are out there are very dense medical related and quite heavy reading, which is great if you really want to deep dive. Other books that are out there are very personal stories about the author. So this one, I feel like it gives kind of a mix of both. It has obviously very medical answers that are well researched and science backed. It has a little bit of my own personal story, but I've written it in a way that it's bite-sized pieces, it's great gold to take away from, say, one chapter, and it's not too heavy on the technical side of things to make the reading just that little bit lighter. The best thing that friends and family can do for a woman going through perimenopause and menopause is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and the more you understand what's happening for them and potentially what could be happening for you if you're a younger woman, is powerful. It's important for your partner, whether that be another woman or a man, to also know what's exactly going on. It's powerful stuff once you understand that this is very real and it's hormonal, and all the great things that you can do to help support, which, makes everybody's lives happy. So it's one of the key first steps when you kind of think something's not quite right is to start logging or journaling. And you can do it as easy as in your phone. The thing with perimenopause, it's symptomatic. The only way that you really can figure out what's going on for you is through your symptoms. So the more you understand and start to see patterns and cycles, the more information you are arming yourself with when you go and visit your GP. And specifically a GP that's well versed in women's health and women's hormones would be quite a good thing as well. Some really just quick off the cuff effective lifestyle changes and habits would be to take a really good look at your sleep and your sleep ritual, your sleep routine, and your sleep health. So as far as bedding, sheets that are breathable, pajamas that are breathable, a dark room, a cool room, and no screens about half an hour or preferably an hour before you go to bed. Nutrition, a Mediterranean diet, low carbohydrate, but low, still with carbs, but minimal processed foods. Lifestyle choices, I guess it's setting up some boundaries, the things that you're prepared to say yes to and some things that you're prepared to say no to protect yourself. And then, of course, some exercise, preferably with weights, weight-based training in order to build some stronger muscles and keep your bone density strong as well. I feel so validated that we are all now talking about this, and I feel so excited that we now have some very solid scientific and research backed quality information that will give you absolute guidance on what's happening for you now and what's happening for you in the future. This is something that generations prior have missed out on, and I feel really empowered that the generations today and in the future will have such great information to hand that it'll be, I'm not going to say a walk in the park, but it'll be stuff that you can clock early, get onto the symptoms, and support yourself holistically so that you have a future that you deserve. You can find the Perimenopause Method, the only menopause guide you'll ever need, at Booktopia now. And thank you to Booktopia for having me and my new book, The Perimenopause Method, here at Beyond the Page.